The first section in Unit 3 is titled Powers and Exponents. So for your standard today, it's 7C7, computing with rational numbers fluently using a standard algorithmic approach. Basically, you can compute with rational numbers using the order of operations. So for vocabulary, we have an exponent. An exponent tells you how many times a number is being used as a factor, or how many times you are going to multiply the number. Power is a number that's expressed using an exponent, and the base is the number that's being multiplied. So if we label here, we have the exponent is the 3, the 5 is the base, and so 5 to the third is your power. You don't need to write this chart in unless you want to, but it's basically showing you how we read and write powers. So the powers are here on the left. You see that the base is 3, and the exponents go from 1 to 4, and then we have just the nth power. Powers 2 and 3 are a little specific because they actually have some nicknames that we use, but basically it's 3 to the first, 3 to the second power, 3 to the third power, 3 to the fourth power, and so on to 3 to the nth power. 3 to the second power, we can also say 3 squared, and 3 to the third power, we can say 3 cubed. So 3 to the first power is just 3. 3 to the second power will be 3 times 3. 3 to the third power is 3 times 3 times 3. 3 to the fourth power, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 to the nth power would just be 3 multiplied n times. So first we're going to work with writing expressions using exponents. So for number 1, you can see that the base will be 4 because that's the number we're multiplying. And then you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we would write 4 to the 5th power. Number 2, we have negative 8 being multiplied times itself. So we're going to write negative 8 squared, or negative 8 to the second power. Make sure you're using parentheses. If you see parentheses in the original problem, please put parentheses around your negative 8. You actually get a different answer if you don't use the parentheses, so I want to make sure you get that right. Number 3, we have 6 being multiplied, 6 being multiplied 4 times, so that's 6 to the 4th power. Number 4, we have 1/2 to the 3rd power. Now we're going to throw in some variables, which doesn't matter, we can still write using exponents. So we have y being multiplied 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, so that's y to the 7th. Here we have k plus 2 being multiplied 1, 2, 3, 4 times, so we want to keep the k plus 2 in parentheses because it's the k plus 2 that's being multiplied, and it's 4 times. So k plus 2 to the 4th power. Now we're going to look at some examples where we have different bases, but we can still write them as a string. So we have 5, r, r, and then s, 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 s. So it's 5 to the first power, or 5, r squared, s to the 4th. And you don't need to write the dot in between the 5 and r, or in between the r and the s. Remember that if it's all smashed together, it's implied that it's all multiplication. So for number 8, you would write x cubed, y cubed, or x to the 3rd, y to the 3rd. So let's look at some orders of operation. Since powers represent repeated multiplication, they need to be included in the rules for orders of operations. So remember order of operations, PEMDAS. Simplify expressions inside the grouping symbols first, so that's the P for parentheses. Evaluate all powers, that's the E for exponents. Multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. Please make sure you have this written in your notes, worded out here like this, the order of operations. So let's evaluate the expression 2 to the 7th power. Remember, this does not mean 2 times 7. This means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. Essentially, you're doubling every time. Number 10, we have to take care of the exponents before we can do the multiplication, so this becomes 4 times 9 times 5. 4 times 9 is 36. 36 times 5 is 180. And now let's look at an evaluation, x squared plus y squared, and we're told that x is 6 and y is negative 2. So again, we want to make sure we're really careful with our negative 2 here. So we do 6 and we square it, and we're adding a negative 2 and we're squaring that. So we want to take care of the exponents before we add, so that's 36 plus negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, so 36 plus 4, and that's 40. Number 12, we have 10 plus b squared, so that's 10 plus, again, make sure you're using parentheses when you're substituting in. So that's 10 plus 4, or 14. If you want to try the last one on your own first, you can. But that's a plus b, and it's a quantity squared, which means we're squaring whatever's inside. Remember that order of operations says that we need to, I'm just putting the parentheses around the negative 2 so we don't miss it, but order of operations says that we need to take care of inside the parentheses first. 5 plus negative 2 is 3, so we end up with 3 squared, which is 9. In class, we'll work on worksheet 3.1.